Kanu onyeisi ndị IPOB ya bụ Indigenous People of Biafra ọ pụtakwala wee kwuo ọzọ na mgbasa ozi nke ọ na-agbasa kemgbe ọ gbara ọsọ ndụ ya wee gaa obodo Isreal ya bụ na Jerusalem, ebe a ka ọ nọ wee kwuo okwu nke agbata nke anọ ya. Ugbu a o kwuola wee tisie obi ike wee kwusie ya ike si na Biafra ga-abịarịrị. O kwukwara okwu dị iche iche maka na ọ sị na ya ebidogo ikpughe onye ahụ nọ na Aso Rock na ọ bụghị onye eche na ọ bụ onye si Sudan. Ihe o kwuru karịrị, o kwuru okwu dị iche iche. Ngwa ka anyị ga-enu mgbasa ozi nke agbata nke anọ nke onyeisi ndị otu IPOB ya bụ Nnamdi Kanu, nke na-achọ ka ndị obodo Biafra were onwe ha. Lekwanụ ma gee ya.
Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet Earth. We welcome you to another exciting edition of this World Address, coming to you live from the Holy Land of Israel. The time now here is approximately a minute past the hour of 7 p.m. We welcome you wherever you may be listening from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because Radio Biafra radiates across the entirety of this very planet Earth. And it is my unique privilege to ask you to welcome people. As I welcome you, go and tell your friends and your neighbors. Tell them Radio Biafra is on. Tell them that this is the gospel of the restoration of the kingdom of heaven upon the face of this earth. And that nation is Biafra. I make that very bold claim from the Holy Land of Israel, because Biafra itself also shall be holy. Chukwokika Biama has decreed it. Elohim has ordained it, and it must come to pass. There is nothing any mortal can do about it. They can come against us. They can kill us, imprison us, torture us, and do whatever they feel will stop this very unstoppable march towards the restoration of Biafra. One thing is certain: we are not going to capitulate. We are not going to retreat, and we will not surrender. We will march on relentlessly until our freedom is secured, because we are carrying out a biblical edict. What we are doing is ordained by heaven, and on this very earth we must accomplish it. If you do not know how to listen to Radio Biafra, if you have neighbors who are concerned and worried that they cannot listen to us on their preferred platform, please, you know we have multiple avenues through which and by which you can listen to Radio Biafra. You can join us on Facebook, as Ikechu have quite rightly announced earlier. We are on TuneIn, we are on Radio Biafra app, we are on ipob.org, we are on radiobiafra.co. I will never forget, and how can I forget? You must all join us this very evening. Ensure that your relatives are listening, that your loved ones are listening. It doesn't matter the part of the world you're in, but you can contact them via whatever means of your choice. This is Radio Biafra. We welcome each and every one of you. We shall start the process of unmasking that very criminal in Aso Rock this very evening. This will be the radio version of it. As soon as our friends get here from the USA, we shall present you the television aspect of this expose on that very criminal in Aso Rock, Jubril Aminu al-Sudani. We will unmask them, we will let them bear, that the world may know that the damnable zoological republic is a fraud. Light must shine upon Biafra land. And there is nothing any man or woman can do about it. Because that is our mission, that is our purpose for existence, and we must accomplish it. Elohim is in charge and in control of what we do. I don't worship idol. Only Elohim. We must proceed, and before we do so, we must pray. I am a very prayerful person. So were my parents and their parents before them. We must worship the Most High. We must honor Chukwukika. Without His mercy and grace, we wouldn't be here today. The enemies would have killed me. I would have been assassinated by now and probably buried. But heaven said no, that it cannot happen, that the zoo must fall. I will watch the zoo fall. That is the promise that Elohim made to me, and I will live to fulfill it. We must pray wherever you are. Sometimes I want to pray in the language of heaven, as Igbo. But they say we have listeners all over the world, therefore I must pray in a universal language, and I will pray in English. For thee, O Elohim, you stand in the congregation of creation. You are the beginning and the very end, the author and the finisher of our faith. You created everything that was made, nothing made you. Anetu okaka. Amama macha macha. Onye obu nani ya na achi Chukwu okike abịa ma pụrụ ime ihe niile. If you come close, you will know Him. In truth and in spirit, we come before thee to hand over all our proceedings this very evening unto your loving care, that you may give us wisdom, give us understanding, and also help those who cannot help themselves in the damnable zoological republic. People are in bondage and they are dying. Their greatest affliction is ignorance. We ask thee, Holy One of Israel, to give them common sense and understanding, that they may reason, that they may reconcile their plight to their senses this very evening and reject evil. Only thee, O Elohim, is the judge among every other judge, not minding the conspiratorial criminality of the zoo judiciary. Only you can judge justly. Only thee. Because there are men that judge unjustly in Nigeria. They only respect the counsel of the wicked because they are evil. But only thee, O Elohim, Chukwukika Abiyama, will judge the cause of we that are poor and fatherless. Because that's what we are. Nobody to help Biafra. There is nobody anywhere. But very soon all of that will change, because we are in your holy land. I am in Israel. And your light will shine upon us once again as it did in the old. You will vindicate IPOB Elohim. You will vindicate us. Because our hands are clean. We don't do any evil. We come before thee with clean hands and a very clear conscience, because we are afflicted and we are in need of our salvation, our freedom. Because those that we are in the zoo with, they do not understand. They walk in darkness. But tonight we shall shake the foundations of the zoo, because Nigeria must fall. The same way the walls of Jericho fell apart in this part of the world, so shall all the evil binding the zoo together crumble tonight. We must preach this very gospel, I assure you. The gospel of redemption. The gospel of hope. And above all, of truth. We will preach it here, that all honor and glory may belong to the Most High. Those that we are surrounded with, They do not understand. For even Elohim himself has said, it is apportioned unto man, unto mortal flesh. One day they must die, as Jubril have passed on. Buhari has passed on and Jubril has replaced him. And one day the same Jubril shall also pass on. But the truth and the light that Biafra represents will last for an eternity. And this evening, O Heavenly Father, we call upon Thee to rise up and judge very justly, because all the nations are yours. Biafra is yours, and you will protect Biafra, that your name may be exalted, that your name may be praised, that your name may reign over all of our lives in total submission unto your grace and your mercy forever and ever, we pray. Ise. We welcome you wherever you are this very evening, as I said, from here. For some of you it is your morning, for some it is your afternoon, for some other people it is your evening, because the truth must be preached and we must preach it tonight here. A lot has been written about IPOB and this very noble quest for the restoration of Biafra. But tonight we must put the record straight. I am here to prove this very evening that a majority, I will not say all, a majority of the people in the damnable zoological republic are very gullible. They don't ask questions. Sometimes they even fail to reason properly. We are going to ask ourselves this very evening, what are they hiding? For those of you who are close to the internet or have access to the internet or social media, I will implore you all this very evening to help yourselves by following very attentively what we are preaching tonight, because it will set you free. There are some questions we must answer, and hopefully tonight, during the course of this very address, we must answer them. IPOB family members, they follow this very gospel that I preach. And I said that very thing there in Asorok is not Buhari and that Buhari is dead. All the signs are there. Even when President Donald Trump gave us the hint, I don't want to see that lifeless. Lifeless means somebody who is dead. I don't want to see that lifeless person again. Trump said it. Most of you misunderstood what he was saying. He was trying to make it very clear to all and sundry that we do not reason properly and that most of us are blind, because what is before us we cannot see. Tonight I shall attempt to prove with facts, evidence and statistics that we black Africans sometimes, and especially some Nigerians, not Biafrans, are the most backward, unreasonable and idiotic species of human beings on the face of the earth. I don't care if you get upset, but I tell you the truth. I don't feel sorry for myself. I don't blame the white man for my plight. I blame black stupidity in sub-Saharan Africa. That is why we are poor. That is why there is no electricity, no running water, no decent infrastructure, unemployment everywhere. Nothing seems to be functioning. We cannot keep blaming other people. The fault is from us, because we have failed to engage with that part of our brain that has something to do with reason and logic. Tonight, we shall cure that very anomaly. We shall fix it. I will use the issue of Jubril, the impostor from Sudan, pretending to be Buhari, to wake up the entirety of humanity to the deficiency in the reasoning capacity of black people in Africa. No apologies whatsoever. There is something wrong with us. Tonight we correct it. Live on Radio Biafra. We are transmitting to the whole world. I am going to demonstrate a significant number of us. Black Africans are very primitive and backward and incapable of reasoning. I know I'm saying all of this. If Abba Kyari can go to Sudan and recruit somebody, bring them in with a little bit of silicon, can convince all of you that this very person who is now shorter is Buhari. This man who cannot speak Fulani indigenous language Fufude is Buhari. This man whose hairline hasn't receded one bit is Buhari. This young man who is maximum 45 years old is Buhari. If you can believe that junk, then you are lower than an animal. And no capable. Means you cannot see. You are dumb and foolish. We are here to dispel all of that this very evening. Of course, there are a few reasonable people amongst us. I know. The whole of Africa cannot be stupid. There are reasonable ones amongst us. But I believe that their number is so insignificant that they hardly make any impact. They are the ones that I actually feel sorry for. And Biafrans fall into that very category. We are live and direct on Radio Biafra. They said they have bought over our frequencies. They are lying. They are lying. We are live on FM. In Akwa Ibom, we are live on 102.1. Tonight, in Akwa Ibom, if you tune in, you will hear and listen to my voice coming via Radio Biafra FM platform. Some people fell for their gimmick. We are on satellite. We are on Radio Biafra app. We are on tuning. Everywhere you go to, you will find this very program, and you should be able to listen to it. Those of you who can in urban areas, get out your loudspeakers and put it out. Place them on top of your cars, that your neighbors may partake in the blessing that is coming tonight. If you have not installed a satellite receiver for your village or your town where you come from or where you grew up, I suggest you do so immediately. We are shaking the foundations of the damnable zoological republic, the satanic edifice to corruption and evil. It must crumble before our eyes. Their cheap blackmail will not work. Their little lies and character assassination and innuendo will not work with us. The equals of everything that I say is that we're not going to vote. We're going to shock them next year during the presidential election. We're going to shock all of them, that they may know that we have come to restore Biafra. This very issue of imposing a foreigner, a fraud and an unelected pretender to preside over the fate of 180 million people is the greatest tragedy before Africa. What Abba Kyari and the Fulani Cabal have done with Jubril is the greatest insult any people can receive. It goes to show that those that are in Nigeria are not human beings, because they have eyes but they cannot see. They have ears but they are deaf to reason. It's only now that I have come to the realization that is something tragically wrong with our brain as black people. I assure you, there's something wrong somewhere. We must fix it. This historic fraud of Jubril was not perpetrated by Europeans. The British did not come down to impose Jubril. It was done by black people, Fulani people. I don't even know how to describe this. They are cheating everybody. They did this nonsense to bring in Jubril. so they can pillage and loot the treasury dry. That is why they keep passing budgets, but nothing is done with the money. Abba Kyari and his gang of cabals, including Sultan of Sokoto, they siphon the budget money. Nothing is done in the zoo. Absolutely nothing. They are using this thing from Sudan, Jubril, under him, that they may steal all the money in the world and become billionaires like Dangote in the next 2 years, or their children. That is how they create billionaires overnight. A budget of a country belonging to 180 million people, allegedly, I hasten to add. What did they do with the 2015 budget? What did they do with the 2016 budget? How about 2017? And also 2018? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. They steal everywhere dry. They claim they are fighting corruption when they themselves personify corruption, avarice, and greed. Name the 7 deadly sins, you find it in these hypocrites. All of them are hypocrites. All of them, without exception. We must continue. I want you to pay very close attention. We are coming down to the very hard facts. Please try and pay heed to what I'm saying. They are using this joke from Sudan. He doesn't even look like Buhari. Why hasn't he addressed any live press conference? You know, where journalists can ask questions. Like, please tell us the part of Katsina you come from. Can you address us in Fulani language? No! He will never ever present himself because he's a fraud. No more Aisha beside the husband. Even Aisha Buhari went as far as saying, do not vote for him. But some of you will not listen because you're deaf and you're dumb. He claims he is Buhari. Simple, Fulfuda he cannot speak. He never meets the people. Only when it is all choreographed for him, prearranged and packaged. Suddenly this man does not fall sick again. Somebody that had a major brain surgery. He had tumor growing in his brain, if some of you can remember, that was affecting his hearing. The late Buhari had brain tumor. How can somebody that underwent such complicated procedure, like brain surgery, had a sizable chunk of his brain removed, not require any clinical follow-up or examination after such a huge surgery? It's up to you. But they have medical doctors all over the place in Nigeria. Some of them are doctor, which means they have PhD in medicine. Ask any of them, ask any doctor near you. How is it possible that somebody can undergo a major brain surgery and never go for any follow-up after that? We must proceed. He doesn't fall sick again. This is a new, brighter, younger Buhari who doesn't feel the need to be seen with his wife anymore. Remember when, what is Buhari's daughter's name again? I used to tweet from Asorok. When was the last time Zara tweeted from Asorok? Not anymore. Because daddy is no more. And I respect them for one thing. At least they can't pretend that this Sudanese is their father. This very man from Sudan. This very young, bright young man. Look at his fingers, look at the back of his hands. After this program tonight, anybody who goes on blaming white people for poverty in Africa should be hanged. Europeans are not your problem. Our problem is in our brain. Stupidity, that's what it's called. Ignorance. Tonight we cure it. once and for all. When this very shameful phase is over, as I said earlier, Abba Kyari will be one of the richest men in the world. And most of you Nigerians will carry on in your blissful ignorance as if nothing happened. You remember last week I issued a challenge to all Nigerians to demand that Jubril remove his cap. If he is confident that he is Buhari will issue on my receding hairline. We know the original and now dead Buhari wore a dark suit. Was it in 2015? He wore a suit now for election. Ask Jubril to wear a suit where he will not wear his Awasa Fulani cap. And you will see that he's a very young man. Very young man. He is not bald as Buhari is. Let them do it and prove me wrong. And end this very scandal once and for all time. Jubril will not remove his cap because he's not Buhari. We all know that. The world is a witness to this monumental fraud and deception. But they have chosen to keep silent. Luckily for us, there is one thing that Jubril cannot hide. It's a very simple assignment for every Nigerian. No matter what you do, you know when ugly people go to do plastic surgery to look beautiful or to look handsome, they don't remember their ear. They never remember their ear because the ear is cartilage. If you put anything there to perhaps develop into a very serious infection, and perhaps you will die in the process. For all Nigerians, I have this to say to you tonight. Look at the ear or the ears of Jubril. And go and look at any old picture pre-2017 because Buhari died on the 27th of January. I'll tell you how he died. I'll get to it in a minute. Go and get any old picture of Muhammadu Buhari. Look at the ear. Look at the ear of Jubril and tell me if they are the same. There is something that they don't know. You see, no two people have the same earlobe. No, not the same design. It's like fingerprint. Go and check your brother now, your wife, your husband, your children. Go and check them now. Look at the ear. Check and tell me if any of you share the same configuration. You will see that the answer is no. But whilst I'm broadcasting this now, I'm sure that Asorok is listening. The cabal, they are listening very attentively. Jubril said he went to Paris on the invitation of the French president, Emmanuel Macron. Is that correct? He went for peace summit, peace in the world. The butcher and the murderer is going for a peace conference or a peace forum in Paris. He's expected back on Tuesday. If he doesn't come back on Tuesday, he has gone to alter his ear so that his ear can now look like Buhari's ear. Should Jubril come back to Abuja to Asorok on Tuesday of next week, know ye that the game is over for them. Because he cannot conceal his ear. His ear is not the same. The ear is like your fingerprint. It is unique to yourself and you alone. A very simple assignment. But you have all these APC urchins, these alamajiris. They will ignore it and be talking about something else. But we won't leave them. They said we are asking him to take off his cap because we are disrespectful. I keep saying this all the time. I am older than Aisha Buhari. I am older than Jubril by very many years. So if I ask Jubril to remove his cap, he should do it because I'm older than him. I was told Orji's Okalo was defending him. saying he shouldn't take off his cap. We'll get his case later. We must continue. This challenge must be met. Look at his ear. Because they cannot prove me wrong and they know it. That's why they came to kill me. They were wondering, how did Nnamdi Kanu know that Jubril is from Sudan? How did he know we swapped the dead Buhari for this thing? Now living large, or spending dollars. A man that never saw dollars in his life. A washed out actor in Khartoum. A stagehand in a theater. Never saw dollars in his life. Now he is presiding over a budget of trillions of dollars. No wonder he's like that. The world is bearing us witness. Photographs showing the late Buhari's ear abound. Go and do it yourself. I challenge anybody to compare the ear of the dead Buhari with Jubril's own. You will see it is not the same man. Jubril is a fraud manufactured for the purposes of maintaining the jihadi stronghold on power in Nigeria. The Fulanis, they have this arrogant born to rule mentality. Can you imagine if two Igbo men were contesting for the presidency? Some of them were actually writing and saying we should be grateful. The article remembered Obi. We should be grateful. But two Fulani men are contesting, two. Not an Awasa man. Not a Jukun man. Not somebody from Igbira. No. Not a Gbagi man. No. Those that own Abuja. The Gbagi people. No. It has to be Fulani all the time. And they end up messing up everything. They mess up everything. This is Radio Biafra. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is a live presentation. There's no recorded program, it's live. The time now is 28 minutes to 8 here in the Holy Land of Israel. The hint Trump gave to us, did we take it? The answer is no. Black Africans never fight evil. That is why judges are corrupt. That is why the courts cannot stand up and deliver an upright judgment. That is why there is evil everywhere. That is why Fulani terrorists can go into Benue and slaughter people and go scot-free. None of them is being arrested. Not one. That is why the cabal will negotiate with Boko Haram, killing and bombing people to the kingdom come, but refuses to speak to IPOB to negotiate our exit from the zoo. Because they are evil. And we must expose them. Blacks did not end slavery. That is how weak and docile we are. The white people, I repeat, white people ended slavery. Not us blacks. When they disrespect us all around the world, we must bear this in mind. We never rise up against evil. Of course, except for Haiti. And that rebellion was led by an Igbo man. We'll get to that later. Africa is today littered with totalitarian regimes. Look at Cameroon. Look at what's happening in Uganda. Everywhere you go to, you have one idiot in power who will refuse to go, and there is nothing anybody can do about it. The funniest thing is that if you rise up to challenge that evil, your own people will rise up against you. Makanchonche Gohan and Weta. Peanuts. Sometimes I wonder what the heart of a black man looks like. I wonder very seriously. The people at the receiving end of the savagery of these people, these despots, we are paralyzed with fear, ethnic bigotry and self-hate. Anybody can be there as long as the person is from the south. Oshibajo should have been sworn in as the president of Nigeria. But to Fulani, all of them ganged up, both APC and PDP, they ganged up and said, no, it must be a northerner. It must be a Fulani man. I asked Atiku to do something, he has not done it. because he knows the consequences. Today is November the 10th. It was exactly today in 1995 that Ken Seruwa was killed by another evil man, Abacha. Another man from the north. We remember him. They were executed, 9 of them. These are the finest of the very finest from Ogoni land. These are intellectuals. Do you know who convicted them? That is why I told you that Nigeria is evil. The man that convicted Ken Seruwa, knowing fully well that Seruwa is just a freedom fighter, is Justice Abdul Kafarati. That Justice Abdul Kafarati is today the chief judge of the High Court of Nigeria. And surprise, surprise, that was the man that said that IPOB is a terrorist organization. Do you see how they flow? The more evil you are, the more you rise up in the judiciary. That is why they want to blackmail Binta Nyako into oblivion. Because of me, they arrested Binta Nyako's husband and son. They claim they are being tried by EFCC. So that if Binta Nyako were to acquit me, they will jail the husband and the child. That is how evil the zoo is. That's how bad they are. But she courageously gave me bail. She knew I did nothing wrong. She knew it. They were pressuring her. Revoke his bail. And she said no. They have done nothing wrong. They don't know all these things. They called her to a meeting in Meduguri where they were insulting her. That didn't work. They took her to another meeting in Sokoto where they called all the northern, I don't know if I'll call them leaders, to be insulting her because of me. That she should have jailed me. That nothing will happen. That Igbo leaders have signed up to it. That Ohaneze is with them. Ohaneze and Dioshi. I will come to the meetings they've been holding against me and IPOB later on. But Binta Nyako stood strong. I'm not sure at all that the intimidation she's been forced to endure will ever stop. I don't think so. Good people like that never get to become the chief judge of the federation. Kafarati Abdul Kafarati killed Kesarawiwa. Today he's the chief judge of the High Court of Nigeria. He granted ex parte motion to the government of Nigeria designating me a terrorist. He was rewarded. And I'm sure they're saying to Binta Nyako, if you jail him or convict him, there is a reward for you. Do you see how Nigeria works? They don't understand what justice and law is all about. No. These are black evil people from Africa. Evil people. God behind darkness and evil. We must continue. I remember this very evening, Cancer Wiwa, Dr. Barine Kyobel, Mr. Baribo Bera, Mr. Nudu Lewu, Dr. Felix Nuate, Mr. John Puine, Mr. Samuel Orage, Mr. Paul Lebura, and Mr. David Boko. May their soul rest in peace. They are freedom fighters for Ogoni. And we are going to get it. And Ogoni will be free. Ogoni will be autonomous. Ogoni will elect their own leaders. Ogoni will control the resources in their land. They will control it. We are getting there. So they shouldn't despair. We remember these brave and gallant men. Have you forgotten that Dasuki and El Zagzagi are still in prison? Have you forgotten that innocent IPOB family members are still in jail? Why are they in prison? I have not forgotten Jubril. I'm coming to him. I want to build a case to let the world know how evil and wicked Nigeria is. And why they did what they did with Jubril when Buhari died. We are building a case against them. Did the court say that Dasuki should be freed on bail? Yes. Did the court say that El Zagzagi and the wife should be freed on bail? The answer is yes. Now ask yourself this question. What are all the judges in Nigeria doing? Why haven't they gone on strike to say if you cannot obey simple court order, our job is meaningless? But no, they will run to John Soho, that most corrupt of all the corrupt judges in the zoo, to go and buy another ex parte motion. I'm coming to that because I'll demolish it. This is going to be a very long program. You know, we are blacks. We don't concentrate for long. I remember when I was small, they were trying to teach us how to read. Mrs. Akpame, God bless her wherever she is. I keep saying, talk about her all the time. We have a reader. You know, you have to read as a child. And if you ask somebody, read your reader for me, will say, do you remember? John is the teacher is Lela and the pencil is bottle. Have you read about that before? Did you hear about it? Maybe you people are too young then. That's the read, that's how we read. If there is no picture, we will not read. So bear with me. This is a marathon program. I've sat down in one place for 8 hours before broadcasting. You must bear with me tonight, because we must preach this very gospel. The only thing I will do is I will, for 4 years I've not been training very well. So if you get me something to drink, I will very much appreciate it as we proceed. Here we don't hide anything. We're IPOB. Everything is open. Everything is out in the open. I have no secret. Dasuki and Essex are still in jail. They must be released. They never took them to Binta Nyako, Nnamdi Dimba, Justice Kolawale, Justice Ademola. These are good judges in Nigeria, I'm telling you. They will not take them to these judges. Because when Binta Nyako gives you bail, Binta Nyako will tell the people there, he has bail. Don't go near his house, so don't do anything. But of course, they defied her. They came to kill me. Because they didn't want to take my men to Abuja. I promised them I was going to bring 2 million men. And they know I would do it. Instead, they chose to come to kill me. When some reporters that are writing for Tinubu Nation newspaper, when they report it, you wouldn't know. You would say, oh, Nnamdi Kanu, where is he? Did he jump bail? Tinubu's newspaper will not tell you that the army came to kill me and killed 28 people in the process. No, they won't tell you that. And they want me to be in the same country with them. Hypocrites and liars. Evil people. Some people shouldn't practice journalism in Nigeria, honestly. Do you see how evil the politicians are? That is how some journalists are. They see the truth and they twist it upside down because they are evil. Or because they don't want Biafra to be free. Because of my case, as I said earlier, Justice Binta Nyako is under the radar and being watched. Any right-thinking person will know that I'm without fear before my enemies. I broke army cordon time and time again. Until Ohaneze and a few people that call themselves Igbo leaders, I mentioned their names later, plotted with the zoo to come and assassinate me. Until today, I remain convinced that somehow maybe they notified the British government. I don't know. But I will find out eventually. I will find out. They killed 28 of my men. 28 of them. I remember what the Emir of Gumi said today. I think he's a retired justice, isn't it? This is what he said. Refusal to obey a court order is another form of corruption. Noting, noting that government must exemplify the change it promised before expecting citizens to follow suit. A court of law, a separate arm of government said Dasuki should be set free. IPOB family members to be set free. Zagzagi to be set free. Somebody in DSS said no. Bring Dasuki here. And you claim you are in a democracy? You want to go and vote next year? Are you not stupid? Are you not stupid, I ask you? What are the benefits of a democracy if when the ruling or the judgment of a court cannot be obeyed by those that occupy Asarok? And all you want to do is to be busying yourself running around. Where's your PVC? Go and vote. We need to vote them out. Those that voted them in should go and vote them out. You've been voting for how many years now? Do not vote February of 2019. Believe you me, your lives will change for the better. Just one day, you take back control of your life that you will not understand. Criminal judges are like John Tosa and Kafrati that are busy working for a corrupt government who are hell-bent on subverting the cause of justice. Next week I'll read out to you what the appeal court said about Justice John Tozo. You know, he lied in my case. Appeal court judges shredded him. Completely and totally. He should not be sitting as a judge. It's because Abakari and the cabal, they're the ones that brought him from Ikeja to Abuja to try my case. The most corrupt judge in the history of judiciary in the zoo. John Tozo. We must continue. A judge who cannot interpret very simple rules. He wants Abaribe to be tried with my very good friend, Femi Fani Kayode. Nigeria judiciary is evil. Any court you go to, the court will ask you a very simple question. Who asked the army to invade Nnamdi Kanu's home and kill people? But you see, they're in the zoo, they're in Nigeria, the animals, they don't reason very well, you see. They don't reason. You know, they sit down and they hatch one plan. If you do this, IPOB will fall. If you do this, you might get Nnamdi Kanu. And they give the idiot money. They give them money. And they give some to John Toza and say, please sign. Always ex parte in the judge's chambers. Why don't you come to an open court to argue it? Because you know you have no jurisdiction. You have no legs to stand on. A corrupt dark soul from Africa. Evil man, John Tozo. You hide in your office and you scribble something. It's ex parte. And the idiots that write for some Yoruba newspapers will be jumping up and down. I feel sorry for the black man. The way he reasons. Very, very distressing, I tell you. This is Radio Biafra. If you're joining us for the very first time, we welcome you wherever you are. Here we preach the truth. Is everything okay at all? Is everything okay? We must continue. You even have Sani Abacha Road in Iguacha. Chineke mere mebere. Oh dear me. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Sani Abacha Road. Unbelievable. Incredible. And today, is there anybody else that remember that today was the day they killed Ken Sarawiwa? I don't think so. I don't think so. I hope our signals are going out, everything is okay. Is that correct? We are on top. The zoo are lying that they shut us down. School. I am educated. How can you ever stop Radio Biafra? It's impossible. Who is the bastard who can stop Radio Biafra? It's not. We are unorthodox here. Some people say to me, you must speak like a head of state. And I said, no. The zoo is in the gutter. I climb into the gutter to fight them inside the sewage. If they climb into dustbin, I follow them into the dustbin. And I fight them then and defeat them. They are not ashamed of themselves. Look at the idiots talking. Oh, soldiers came for him and he ran. How many soldiers, how many rifles? If I have the same number of guns, I will take the entire zoo. I'll bring it down. For your information. The zoo is in trouble because I'm here. And they know it. They know they're in very serious trouble. Very serious trouble. We must continue. I will not bother to go into the nitty-gritty of the suit, the so-called mandamus. I will disgrace Tozo. until they sack him as a judge in the zoo. I will shred him to pieces. The whole world listens to Radio Biafra. I said the whole world, everybody listens. The government of Israel and every other government in the world, because they know I preach the truth. They know what I tell them is the truth. But we must continue. Ebonyi State is live. They're saying we are live in Ebonyi State. Who is the zoo to stop Radio Biafra? They're drunk. Look at Okorocha and all of APC. We must talk. Oh, everyone is if I talk, this will happen. If I talk, ask Okorocha and those the saying, if I talk, oh, and Governor Mosun, ask them, what is it you want to say? Is it not that Jubril is not Buhari? That's what they want to say. Do you see how the zoo works? Okorocha is hoping to leverage on the fact that he knows Buhari is dead to blackmail APC to make his son-in-law the governor. When Oshomole said, no, I will not do it, he said, if you push me, I will talk. Oh. That is the zoo for you. And when I call them a zoo, they start getting upset. I am the only person that had the guts to tell the whole world. I was in my father's compound when I said it. That Jubril is fake. I said it before anybody else knew. I know his name. I know what he does. I know the day they recruited him. Sometimes they wonder how I know. I cannot run a worldwide organization without having people in Asoro that give me information. That means I'm stupid. I have people inside Asoro that give me information. If they don't know, let me tell them now. The day Buhari died, I know. Do you know that Buhari's aircraft made a stopover in Casablanca to pick up a life support mission? You don't know that, but I'm telling you now. Go and look at the log of Buhari's flight when it left the zoo. Ask them, they will tell you. They left the zoo on around the 17th or 18th, in fact on the 18th. I was in court on the 17th, he saw me, he collapsed and he died. Just merely looking at me, Buhari won. That he would die and he died. They made a stopover in Casablanca in Morocco to pick up a life support machine because the Dulad of Daura stopped breathing. By the time he got to London, he was virtually declared brain dead. I have all the facts and figures, and I'm giving it to you tonight. Only me could have said it. The case of Jubril is an international conspiracy of immense proportions. Even Igbo politicians are among them. Igbo, Yoruba, Igbo, Awusa. Do you know what they said? Okay, if we agree that Jubril is not Buhari, Nnamdi Kanu would have won. The zoo will collapse and Biafra will come. That's why they said no, let's not give him the credit. But Elohim sent me, not man. Elohim said I should come and I came. That light may come where once there was darkness. That is why we do what we do. Without fear before anybody. If zoo was strong, why didn't they come one after the other? Than sending a platoon of soldiers and armored tanks, Air Force jets to come to my house to bomb me. Cowards they are. We must continue. Sultan of Sokoto, Bukola Saraki, Rochas Okora Wasa, all of them can testify that Buhari is long dead and replaced by that thing from Sudan. This is an open season of blackmail. We shall go through some of them now. Olushola Oke, you know him. He's an APC chieftain from Ondo State. Is there anybody from Ondo State who doesn't know Olushola Oke? You know him. APC should not force me to talk, oh. That's what he's saying. Talk about what? Are you going to talk about NEPA, electricity, or is it water? Or is it about Ajokuta steel mill? What are you going to talk about? If not Jubril. Roger Okorocha said, if I talk, Asoro could be burnt down by Nigerians. Why is it that we have journalists who prefer to write junk rather than going to Okorocha and asking him, do a bit of investigative journalism. What is that thing what is it that you want to say that will make us go and burn down Asarok? And Okorocha will tell you that Jubilee is not Buhari. You know Governor Amos of Lagos State. If APC pushes me, I will talk. Go and ask these three people what they mean by that, and then they will tell you that Buhari is long dead and Jubril is an impostor from Sudan.